Most people think discipline is about forcing yourself to do hard things. But disciplined women know that it's much deeper than that. It's about strategy, self-awareness, and building habits that actually stick. So in this video, I'm sharing 8 habits that are backed by science that highly disciplined women live by. So you can stop relying on willpower and start creating real change. Now, if you're returning, welcome back. But if you're new here, hi, my name is Tiffany, and I make content all about becoming the best version of yourself. Now, if that sounds like your vibe, girl, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you. Let's get into it. Discipline starts in the moments that most people give into. The scroll, the snack, the snooze button. This is where it begins. And one of the first habits disciplined women master is the power of delayed gratification. One of the most well-known studies on self-discipline is the Stanford Marshmallow Experience. In this study, children were given the choice to eat 1 marshmallow now or wait a little while and get 2. Years later, the children who waited showed higher academic achievement, better health, and more emotional control. Why? Because delayed gratification builds long-term thinking and impulse control, 2 critical traits of highly disciplined women. When you're tempted, whether it's scrolling on your phone, skipping your workout, or impulse shopping, I want you to use the 10-minute rule. Pause for 10 minutes before giving in. That short delay gives your logical brain time to catch up with your emotional impulse. So let's say you're scrolling on Instagram at night. You catch one of those ads go by, and then you get the urge to online shop. Before you know it, you find a cute $85 sweater in your cart. Instead of clicking buy now, set a 10-minute timer. During those 10 minutes, I want you to ask yourself, do I really need this? Will this still matter to me tomorrow? Most of the time, that emotional high fades. And you'll thank yourself later for saving some money, girl. That's delayed gratification in action. Disciplined women know every time you delay an impulse, you're casting a vote for the woman you're becoming, not the mood you're in. But listen now, you can delay that impulse all day. But if you're not sleeping, your discipline will still disappear by 3 p.m. Let's talk about how disciplined women protect their energy before the day even starts. Sleep is not a luxury. It's an essential form of discipline. And studies show that when you're sleep deprived, your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that's responsible for self-control, focus, and decision-making, becomes impaired. That's why even the most motivated women feel scattered and impulsive when they're running on fumes. Discipline starts the night before. And here's a powerful shift I got from Robbins. Get into bed 1 hour before you actually want to fall asleep. And try your best to aim to be in bed for 9 hours total. So that means you're aiming for 8 hours of sleep. Determine your ideal wake time. Then count backwards 9 hours to set your bedtime. This is because it takes most people 10 to 30 minutes to fall asleep. By being in bed for 9 hours, you give yourself the best shot at consistently getting a full 8 hours of real restorative sleep, the kind your discipline depends on. So if you want to wake up at 6 a.m., your body should be in bed by 9 p.m. Imagine wanting to feel more energized and productive in the morning, but you're up late night scrolling and overthinking. Once you set a consistent bedtime and start winding down an hour before, your mornings transform. You're not just awake, you're alert, you're focused, and you're in control. Disciplined women don't burn out to get ahead. They protect their peace at night so they can show up powerful in the morning. Now, once your sleep is handled, you're clearer, calmer, and way more prepared for what life throws at you. And trust this, disciplined women don't just hope for good days, they plan for the mess. We've all heard the advice to visualize your goals, but science says visualizing obstacles is just as important. Psychologist Gabrielle Oettingen developed a method called mental contrasting, which combines positive thinking with realistic planning. Her research shows that when we imagine our ideal outcome and anticipate for roadblocks, we're far more likely to follow through. It's not pessimism, it's preparation. Every morning I want you to ask yourself, what might get in my way today? Then create an if-then plan. This is called implementation intention, and it's incredibly effective. For example, if I feel too tired to work out after work, I'll do a 10-minute stretch instead. It removes the decision-making pressure and keeps you consistent, even on hard days. Let's just say your goal is to eat healthier, and your biggest obstacle is hitting the drive-thru when you're stressed or tired. Mental contrasting would have you visualize your healthy eating goal and the moment when that fast food craving hits. So you plan ahead. If I feel tempted to stop at a drive-thru, then I'll grab the protein snack I packed in my bag. Now that's not just wishful thinking, that's a system. You're replacing the reaction with a prepared response. Disciplined women don't just hope everything goes smooth. They expect challenges and plan for them. And that's why they stay consistent. Because when life gets to lifing, and it will, they already have a backup plan. But it's not just about preparing mentally. Disciplined women know that what's around you can make or break your focus. So let's talk about how your environment could be working against your goals. Willpower is not the most reliable strategy for self-discipline. Your environment is. Behavioral design expert B.J. Fogg found that our surroundings influence our actions far more than we realize. In fact, environmental cues can trigger habits automatically without us even thinking about them. So instead of trying harder, disciplined women set up their spaces to make good choices the easiest choices. So that means if you want to eat healthier, put a bowl of fruit on the counter and move the chips to a high shelf or somewhere inconvenient. Make the healthy option obvious and the tempting one harder to access. This reduces friction for the good habit and increases it for the bad one. So for me, for example, I love chips. The crunchier, the better. Man, I could finish a whole bag without even realizing it. And that's why I try not to keep them in the house. But I have a daughter, so every now and then, those chips, they end up in the grocery cart. So here's what I do. I don't keep them anywhere where they're easy to see or easy to reach. Like I might put them on the top shelf in the pantry, way in the bag. And instead, I try to keep fruit or something healthy on my desk while I work. That way, when I catch myself reaching for a snack, I can pause and ask, do I really want this? Or am I just bored, tired, or looking for a distraction? That one little shift has been such a game changer for me. Disciplined women set up their environment to support the woman that they're becoming, not tempt them back into old habits. You don't need more willpower. You need better surroundings. If you want to change your life, start by changing what surrounds you. And once your space is set up to support you, it's time to protect your mental bandwidth. Because girl, decision fatigue is real. And disciplined women don't waste their brain power on what to eat and what to wear. Every choice we make, what to wear, what to eat, when to check email, uses up a bit of our mental energy. This is known as decision fatigue. And it's why our willpower tends to crumble by the end of the day. And research shows that the more decisions we make, the worse the quality of those decisions becomes. Disciplined women reduce unnecessary choices so they can stay focused on what actually matters. I want you to try to simplify your routines. Use a weekly meal plan, prep your outfits in advance, or adopt a workday uniform. With neutral basics, you can mix and match. The goal isn't to be boring, it's to save brain power for high-impact decisions. Let's just say you're juggling a busy job, a side hustle, and personal goals. By 6 p.m., you've already made hundreds of micro decisions, from work emails to what to post on social media. So when it's time to choose what to cook for dinner, you're drained. And that's when takeout happens. Or you skip the gym because the thought of deciding what workout to do feels like too much. Now imagine you planned your meals on Sunday, prepped your gym clothes, and created a default schedule for posting content. Those decisions are already made. You're not overwhelmed. You're free to follow through. Disciplined women don't waste energy deciding the same things every day. They automate the small stuff so they can stay consistent with the big stuff. And once your mind is freed up, you can finally focus on your goals. But here's the trick. Disciplined women don't try to do everything at once. They break it all the way down. The Zeigarnik effect explains that our brains are naturally drawn to unfinished tasks. That's why to-do lists and small wins feel so satisfying. They give our minds closure and build momentum. Research and habit formation also shows that starting small dramatically increases consistency and long-term success. When we try to change everything at once, we often end up doing nothing. It's not laziness, it's overload. If your goal seems too big, I want you to shrink it until it feels laughably easy. So instead of saying, I'll work out 5 days a week, say I'll walk for 10 minutes today. Or even, I'll just put on my workout clothes. The trick is to make it so simple that you literally can't fail. Small wins signal to your brain, I'm doing this. Let's say your dream is to write a book. That's huge, and the pressure to get it right can paralyze you. So instead of saying, I need to write a chapter this week, start with a micro habit like, I'll write 100 words a day. That's just one short paragraph. And what often happens is, once you start, the resistance melts away and momentum kicks in. You might write 300 words or more, but even if you stop at 100, you've still succeeded. You kept your promise to yourself. That's a win. Disciplined women don't rely on bursts of motivation. They build momentum by keeping their goals so doable, they become part of who they are. And remember, big transformation comes from small, consistent steps, repeated daily. Now, if you're still here and this is lighting something up inside of you, drop this emoji in the comments. That fire you feel, that's your potential waking up. Let me know you're with me and committed to becoming the most disciplined version of yourself. And those small steps matter because what really keeps you going is knowing why you're doing it. Disciplined women don't just move, they move with vision. Now, neuroscience has shown that when we mentally rehearse a future scenario, like achieving a goal or making a disciplined choice, our brains activate the same neural pathways as if we were actually doing it. Now, this is called mental simulation, and it strengthens motivation by making the reward feel real and attainable. Disciplined women regularly visualize their future selves to stay emotionally connected to their why. Each morning, I want you to take 1 to 2 minutes to visualize your future self, living the disciplined life you're building today. Picture how you'll feel, how you'll look, how you'll move through your day with confidence and peace. The more vivid, the better. Your brain does not need it to be real to believe it's possible. Let's say you're training for your first 10K race. Waking up early to run isn't easy, and sometimes you'd rather hit snooze. But before bed or first thing in the morning, you visualize yourself crossing the finish line, strong, proud, and in tears of joy. You see the crowd, hear your name being cheered, and feel more accomplishment in your body. That mental picture gives you the emotional fuel to get up and run, even on days when you don't feel like it. Because you're not just chasing a task, you're chasing a vision. Disciplined women don't just work hard, they see ahead. They stay connected to the outcome long enough to push through the discomfort today. And here's the best part. They know it does not have to be perfect. Because at the end of the day, discipline is about progress, not perfection. Let's talk about why 80% is more than enough. Now, perfectionism might sound admirable, but research shows that it's often just fear in disguise. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. Studies link perfectionism to increased procrastination, anxiety, and burnout. But when we aim for 80% or good enough to move forward, we're more consistent, less stressed, and far more productive in the long run. Give yourself permission to do it imperfectly. Whether it's launching something new, starting a habit, or setting a boundary, aim for progress, not perfection. The 80% rule helps you stay in motion, which is where real growth happens. Let's just say you want to start a blog to share your life lessons and self-care tips. But for weeks, you obsess over fonts, logo placements, and color schemes, never hitting publish. You're stuck in perfectionism. Then you tell yourself, let's just get version 1 out there. The moment you stopped aiming for flawless and aimed for finish instead, everything changed. You launched your blog, you got feedback, and most importantly, you built momentum. That imperfect first step created a ripple effect of confidence and consistency. You didn't wait to be perfect. You got in the game. Disciplined women know that perfection is a trap. Progress is the real power move. You don't need to be perfect to be impactful. You just need to start. Because girl, discipline is not about being perfect. It's about showing up for the woman you said you wanted to become. These habits aren't just backed by science. They're proven to help you stay consistent, focused, and in control. Now, if this video lit a fire in you, girl, don't forget to like, comment your favorite habit, and subscribe. And if comparison has been stealing your confidence lately, go watch my video, How to Stop Comparing Yourself to Other Women next. It'll shift your entire mindset. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you there.